The day my father told the entire family I had abandoned him for money, I almost believed him myself, until I uncovered the one thing he never expected me to find. I'm Ria. I'm 27, and I work as a junior architect in Mumbai. For most of my life I believed my father was the strongest person I knew. He raised me alone after my mother passed away, and I spent years trying to live up to everything he sacrificed. So when he started struggling financially after retiring, I didn't hesitate. I moved back home, took on extra freelance work, covered bills I could barely afford. It wasn't easy, but it felt right. At first things were peaceful, simple. Then slowly something changed. My father became distant, irritable, suspicious over small things. He started questioning my spending, accusing me of not contributing enough, even though I was covering most of our daily expenses. I told myself it was stress. That retirement had been harder on him than he expected, until the accusations became louder, more public. Family gatherings turned uncomfortable. He would make small comments about how children forget their parents once they start earning, about how some people only pretend to care. People would glance at me, confused. I stayed quiet, because I believed respect meant patience, until the day everything broke. It was during a large family function. Relatives from both sides were there, and in the middle of it my father stood up and said something that made the room go silent. He said I had been neglecting him, that I was saving money for myself while he struggled, that I had refused to support him when he needed me most. The words hit harder than anything I had ever experienced, not because they were true, but because they sounded believable. People started looking at me differently, like I was someone they didn't recognize. I didn't defend myself, not in that moment, because I realized something important. This wasn't emotional, it was intentional. So I went home and started looking deeper, through bills, bank statements, account details. And that's when I found it. Large withdrawals from my father's account. Frequent, consistent, far beyond his usual expenses. At first I thought it might be medical costs, but the timeline didn't match. Then I found messages. Between him and someone I didn't know. Friendly at first, then increasingly personal, and eventually financial. He had been sending money to someone he believed he was building a future with. Someone who convinced him to invest, to trust, to give more. It wasn't just a mistake. It was manipulation. And when the money started disappearing, he needed someone to blame. Someone close. Someone easy. Me. That realization didn't make me angry, it made me clear, because I understood something he didn't. The truth was still there, hidden, but recoverable. The next family gathering came a week later. This time, I was ready. When the same accusations started again, I didn't interrupt, I waited. And then I presented everything. The bank records, the transfers, the messages, step by step. Not to shame him, but to show reality. The room shifted instantly. What once looked like neglect now looked like something else entirely. Confusion, concern, and slowly, understanding. My father didn't say anything, not at first, but the silence said enough. Later I learned the person he had been sending money to disappeared completely. No contact, no trace. Just gone. Today things between us are quieter, more distant, but more honest. Because the truth didn't just clear my name. It exposed something deeper. That sometimes the people who accuse you the loudest aren't protecting themselves from you. They're protecting themselves from the consequences of their own choices. And the hardest part isn't proving you're innocent, it's realizing you were never the problem to begin with.